Well, hello people of YouTube and internet, it is I, ChipGP, back with one of my series which I'm making, which is obvious because it's my channel. It's Biot-savartian Civilian. Actually, man, that's like pretty random intro, although, man, I'm trying to make a very short intro. So yeah, I'm continuing making Biot-savartian Civilian, and today I'm gonna draw 6 species straight from Biot-savartian Wiki. Like, you know, when you check the species, if you go down, there will be species, box, if you open there will be every species by alphabetic order. So I'm continuing this with this interesting batch. Well, how interesting? I would say it starts pretty weak, go pretty nicely, and then Enic also, well, Enic was, okay, you will see, let's just start the drawing and then I will tell you what was happening there. So start this batch with Professor Ruedacon, from Arburian Pelarota species. Pretty weird intro to be fair. So yeah, I read it because I cannot memorize his name, because for his name I roll with it and then choose a different language to use it for the name. But I don't remember what language I used because I started making this drawing project in some days later. Now for reference drawing I was using Cannonbolt and Gwen Cannonbolt. Now for that I decided also to create a bit more original, like still black lips with a smile and fluffy eyebrows. For body positioning, man, I would say he is like one of the weakest and not the nicest looking. Because mostly with him I did lots of details and tried to play with positioning, but his body structure of Arburian is pretty unique, so I was thinking he will hold the cane like this. Then thinking maybe I should do it with one arm, but still figuring out, nah, I will do it with both arms. Which I'm not sure it's possible for the species, because again, the body structure of the species is quite unique. But probably the best Biot-savartian alien ever. Now Origin was planning to make this arm in this position, but thought maybe this position would be better and maybe save me some time. I will do the circle things. I'm not sure they're sitting right, because first of all, I think they're just sitting on here and here, while his arms is... I think it's gonna be possible to be sitting here, like this will be here and this here. So yeah, I think I did the plating of the arm pretty nice. Now here I was making the arm which will go just simple there, but then figuring out, yeah, let's bloody make this arm. Now, okay, the reason I decided to turn him in Professor and pretty well fair and designed him to be pretty old is because of the reboot. Since in the reboot they were shown to be some theological race, but I'm not sure that we didn't see them in other... Well, okay. I know about Biot-savartian pop-ups, like I'm that known of there, but I don't remember anything about Arburian Pelarota. I just remember the fact there's a bold species version of the species, and there's the planet was destroyed. But I don't think anything I saw about them being professors, so I think we just reboot on interpretation of the species. Like how they did the Atrocian, where the planet is not exactly destroyed, but still climbing and with different kind of species. I mean, I think different kind of species was in our classic series, we just saw only Chromastone and Diamond Head, and yet Chromastone is supposed to be like one-time being, so like it's not just a race which exists there. It's something very unique. But also like the idea of those cave Chromastones or cave Diamond Heads, or maybe not even Diamond Heads, maybe Diamond Godzillas or whatever. I don't call them Diamond Godzillas because it will be not copyrighted. Although he can probably use Kite because I think it's a solid word there. Okay, commenting on this drawing, man, not much to say. Well, I give him a cane made of steel, and design of this cane is pretty simplified because I wanted a really thick cane which can support his body weight. The reason why he have canes because one of his legs is broken with prosthetic inside it. I think the knee will be prosthetic while this bone will be broken, which kinda make it impossible for him to walk. But I don't think they walk much. But he can totally still roll. But I would say the species, actually I think in the classic it said that they move only by rolling. I'd like to see it they also move by just walking and then rolling when it's like super needed. So I decided to do that. Also I will do lots of clothing stuff, because first of all I think the band version of Cannonbolt is just super naked with those lines. The Gwen has some clothes which is also lines, but create a bit more clothing. Like cover the body a little bit better. Well, actually I think it's cover the body if what human would consider to be thing you're supposed to be covering, so you know, the breast and the bottom stuff. So yeah, I think Jessica could do the same thing, so I decided to give the Arburian Professor like full time. Well, I would say it's kinda look like cleric clothing, because I think in human world professors usually wear suits, but with him I decided to make him look like a cleric. Lots of fingers. Actually on one leg I did some weird fingers, on another leg is nice. Also some claws I can do a bit more cubical shape because for creating those claws I have to mess with my brush, how it's called, curve or how to make a line, because sometimes I change the setting of my brush to create a bit more nicer lines, so they would not be wiggly or they would just straight lines. Of course sometimes they don't do this straight, but sometimes when I, because of making straight lines, and sometimes make lines not so great, so I will switch between options. Actually I think I start switching between those brushes a bit more often. And then the next thing I decided to give him a little bit hair, like little unpolished and hair. Well, actually, I originally was even thinking about giving him like a full-time beard, but I'm not seeing it to be fitting. I decided to give him just a little bit short there. And over in my head I've been seeing like super much details. Now for Iceman with every aliens, because my reference image usually being banned, I have no idea how the hell eyes would look on species, because first of all, whenever Ben transforms into aliens, it's like they all have like full-time green eyes, nothing, not even a pupil. Well, I think we saw some aliens even having some form of pupil eyes. Just for some reason, Ben version usually don't have nothing like this. I mean, actually, I think in the Ultimate Aliens, when Ultimate Himengaso went rogue, his eyes were red. Then Ben transformed into human, well, himself. His eyes were super green glowing, so it's like Omnitrix was used by different aliens, but that human just have no pupils at all. And imagine how creepy, well, okay, because it's a cartoon it's less creepy, but in real life, although in real life, I don't see it in real life. Well, I see it, but I'm not sure will be super creepy or not, because I don't know. Even though I think about real life, it looks still super cartoony. Now for backpack, I decided to make him a professor who would have a medical degree. Well, not just medical degree, a degree in many aspects. Then also decided to say him being very much religious, but mostly the only reason I decided to make him religious because his clothes look pretty like villager from Minecraft, like a priest. So I decided to create this weird symbol of circle, which also gives me some inspiration from Walking Dead Bridge Construction, the game I played on my gaming channel, and there was some similar symbol, so I decided to use this symbol as for a region for Arburian Pelarota. And then also I think this looks exactly like the symbol from Star Wars The Sith. Now for other stuff, well, he will be 66 by Earth standards, and I'm talking like Earth standards, like let's say, like they age differently, but if you have to circle close to humans, it will be close to this, yeah. Again, broken, like this skin made of metal. I think everything I want to say I said it. I would say he's like not my best design. Okay, maybe, okay, let's imagine. This plate sitting right, and then I have holding it like this. Okay, maybe this plate should be a little bit here instead of this, like I draw it like it's from this perspective. But I think it should be from this perspective, like it should go like this, so my first mistake. Also the arm, well actually I think it's pretty natural arm band. And for legs, man, they almost look like wild man legs. And for that I would say, well, actually not so bad. Also during creating I did notice that I mispainted some white part into grey, and I will fix them later. So if you're wondering did I change it, yes I changed it, you have the changed version right now. For that, also I did lots of those, man, actually I would say with lots of those characters I give them lots of this headwear or this color on skin, like those monk avatar, or just simple helmets or that, I don't know. Some mythical grounds or coloring on the body, I give them lots of these. Like I did him the simple Ben 10 lines which cannibals have, but also decided to give this grey thing there. And I think it's not the only character I will make this thing. So yeah, some things I do usually, but yeah, pretty often. But okay, for the next character we go, I guess. So for Atrocian, I created Ag, or A. So for them, actually I have lots of those reference images, but again I didn't use much. Okay, so for the design, I think I just used the what was used for Ben original. The guy who was Ben transformation, but not Ben. I don't know, if you know the worst, you know what I'm talking about, and then she worst. I decided to call him Ag because again, I think in the series they mostly have these names of she, green, or that worst. I decided to just go with simple word. Now for him, Originally I have no idea, but then it clinched to me I should make him Ben 10 fun. And like not a good fun, like he is very toxic fun. Like he enjoy Ben 10, watch the show, watch the games. Well yeah, watch the games. Both play the game. Mostly he like do all that stuff. And he will just do it very toxically. He also have the short with Ben 10, but it's bootleg, so it's not even spelled Ben 10, it's spelled Bantan. It's Bantan short. And mostly I would say he like this guy. Very toxic, very rude, and usually fight with other fandoms and saying the Bantan is literally the best show and also suck it up and do that stuff. And by him also decided, for facts, I decided to give him a YouTube channel, which we'll call the Slime Tank. Okay, you probably think, okay, Slime Tank is super nice channel about Ben 10 fandom, so I don't hate that. It's just a small note to the creators, and there's no skate comments here. So it's just a simple joke. And in fact, here we find the opposite of... Actually, I think like the Cura is like literally the opposite of what that guy. He like usually say don't hate stuff because other people love it. And there's no such thing as good or bad content. Like, of course there's some things you don't like, but mostly all very different and all that stuff. So this guy will be complete opposite of that. And I would say in my universe of Ben 10, the ink tank does exist, and basically the Ag probably would copyright from that. Like, well, not copyright, the plagiarize. So he does the same thing what they do. Well, minus the drawing and that stuff because he's not much of a drawing. Just do breakdowns, just like that, and also reviews. I'm also just shitting on that stuff or sometimes just hate commenting people. Well, I guess in this version of the drawing he's mostly a bit more nice. I would say decide to draw him from this prop looking straight at you because not much coming to my head. Decide to give him a very big short because again it's a short I like very too much to do, and I also give it a lot to my characters, I'll see. Positive me and that stuff. I decided that he will read every comics, every media, and only read fanfic, so he like checking it fully. I would say that's come to buy Ben 10 merch, I think he mostly go bootleg stuff. And I'll say maybe he even does pirate games or pirate the cartoons. So maybe he doesn't support the Ben 10 itself, he also like watching and like buying stuff, but support absolutely zero. But I would say he also one of my weak ones, because I don't know. Maybe I did little details, maybe I should draw him turning a little bit to the side. But yes, he's still pretty big. I would say he's still better than my Arburian Pelarota transformation. OC. Or specimen. I wouldn't say transformation, but it's mostly just like simple specimen members. But for that, now for design I give him a little bit pants, lines, like you know, with, well okay, it's short, and if you wear short you know what this line is supposed to be. I give him, oh shit, I just noticed I didn't color those little flaps on the shorts, and I have to go back to this. Okay, maybe you will see, I don't know, no, you will already see the fixed version totally. Okay, so for the short, I decided to combine first of all the typical hourglass of the Omnidex, which actually I never noticed it was hourglass symbol. I just thought it was just some silly symbol like plumbers. You know, when they created symbol just to be a random symbol. And I just never come to my mind that it was hourglass. Like I never connect those things together. Now, yeah, also it have elements of simple hourglass and classic Ben 10 short, like the white and the black lines. Of course it's still different, it's kinda merge of those two. But yeah, try to do this. Give him lots of those lamps, and lamps you can see for shorts. Which kinda remind me of... Okay, there was a cartoon about kids who go to camp with monsters, and there was zombie with this switchblade arm, Yeti, the Virtu guy, and this ginger guy who... I think his name have to do something with bad. Camp Blackfoot? Maybe not, maybe Camp Blackfoot is with animals. And I totally don't remember, I have... It also have those episodes where you have characters to see in different forms, like then there were turkey, fish, and then fish guys. I don't remember at all. There was episode they were eating marshmallows and they got those marshmallows on the body, and there was little lumps, and there was lumps on the clothes. I created something similar to that because I like. Also I did see his belly button because I think it's like for the species that you always see the belly button. Give him pupils, actually he was one of those aliens who will have pupils, because I think we saw a normal version of the species, not Ben 10 version, which have pupils. Again, Ben 10 aliens for some reason don't have pupils. Well, Ben 10 transformation don't have pupils. which is some species will be find pretty weird, although maybe not so much. Also I give him a little bit breast effect, like the fact that he has breast and this is pretty chubby guy. On this note, I think yeah, he's still weak, but again as I said earlier, better than Arburian Pelarota, but I would say in this batch mostly my drawings will be pretty simplified. I'd say my favorite work will be a bit more later and I will tell you which one it is. But for now, let's get to the next one, shall we? Shall we? So the next species is Biot-savartian. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So, meet Clera Savart. Yes, her name, last name is related to her species. Okay, for the name I decided to go on Wikipedia, check about Biot-savartian law, who created and that stuff and try to find a female-ish name. Okay, originally I didn't even plan to create a female, but then I was making a head or that stuff, I decided let her be a female. And plus I didn't create much female. Like, actually no, I didn't, okay. Spider Monkey is a female. What else? The Empire is a female. Oh yeah, maybe not enough. So for her, originally my design idea was to create just a head and it will be like a baby, like who didn't create its own body. Because as I see Biot-savartians, I see them as guy or the race which will create their own bodies. Like generally they just a head, but then they grow up, they just collect bunch of metals and that stuff to create themselves a nice body. But I decided to create a body because I don't know, it will be too much lazy. But yeah, I decided to create a body. For body idea, it was first of all reference drawing. I have the Lodestar, because first of all they're like the only member of species we saw, so not much to give in. But instead of body I decided to change first of all, instead of 2 horns I decided to give it 4, but one will be on the back, you cannot see it, to create something, I don't know, to create an illusion of, I don't know, for some reason my cat saw it a bit more like female-ish, so that's also will be the case. Now her top will be a bit more bigger, but her waist will be slowly shaking in. I extension want to try to create something like that. Like the fact that her body, technically by I think real life laws would not be able to stand, like I see her constantly like falling and doing that stuff. But I decided to create something like this, and if you question how she's walking, she's just using her magnetic powers to move. Now for color I decided to go with lots of the pinks, well metallic head will be metallic head. And okay, I also did here give her a little bit metallic eyes. I originally was thinking about giving her pupils, like these little metallic circles. But decided to go nah, with no pupils, but still metallic colors. Now for legs extension, I want to give her very long feet, like what Lodestar have, but even more longer. And for body, yeah, I don't know, for body I decided to go full Lodestar color scheme. Well, I guess minus black it will be more pinkish, but still black, but I decided to go with a bit lighter color of black. And also decided to give her a bit unique texture, like again, these horns will have black in them, but I think Lodestar body mostly full color and those lines. I think I did the lines, but I did lines with some bending on that nice stuff to them. Also metallic, more magnetic field, on her head and a little bit shine on her head. Decided to give her a little spike here, because I think the Chromostone and Omnios have this spike over here. I decided to give him a little bit species uniction, like some species will have them different places, so for females I decided to give them little cheeks and it will be spiked on cheeks. Also, I was thinking about giving the spikes a little bit more effect of spiking, but then say no to this idea. For the clothes, I started to give it metallic, well, like magnets. You know how magnets, the tip will always be silver color, but the side will be red and blue. I decided not to do red and blue, but tips decided to make them metallic color. Also, was thinking about the same thing for the feet, but then said not to this idea, saying, like I like the feet, how they like right now. And mostly for mouse get lots of those lines and something like Lodestar have those bolts at the head, but I say no to this idea. Again with Q I would say her design is nice, but again it's not much. Like I would I like have nothing much to add to her characters, but I wish I could, but I'm fine with the way it turned out. With her the characters I was thinking about the story, who they will be and what they do. With her like nothing much coming to my head, so I decided to turn her into artist, so she will just be a random savant. So she's like artist, go to art school and do that work. She basically sculpture and draw stuff like this, and she uses brushes with the metallic parts inside of them, so they will be able to move. Like her orientation, I would say she's asexual, and like I think like in this batch, there's like not much characters who have official state what their orientation is. Because mostly I have not much idea to what I want the character's orientation to be. I would say the professor, whose name I have to see right now, Ruedacon. Let's say, I think he's typical heterosexual. Maybe is, and maybe too toxic. I doubt the Ak will have a girlfriend. Well, actually, you can call him Uncle. Stuff like this. Well, sure, already about Clera we already know. Decide to give you a personality of kindness, and yeah, for facts, there's like nothing much here. Well, because nothing. Okay, I noticed that one of the paint brushes is not colored in. Why am I missing so much details? Well, the bear also not supposed to be colored in. I decided to color only his face and the part which is not brown for the fur. Yeah, not much fact with her, but with human, it's a species we never saw, like with species we know nothing about. I mean, I know they don't need to breathe and that stuff. Yeah, literally nothing we know about them, so decide to nothing much to work there. I mean, I can just randomly come up with random facts, but again, it will be just facts from a random place. Yeah, I guess nothing much to say, so let's get to the next one, shall we? Yeah, we shall. Okay, talking about my favorites. The Celestialsapien, my most favorite drawing in this batch. Although most maybe I did him super wild. Like again, originally I was thinking the species is pretty bare and nothing much inside of them. Like I guess there's some important details of them being like living galaxy. I think that's like the most important part of the species. Originally I was thinking that, but then decided to create a character who will go the dude which appeared in every Jake party. So if you don't know, his story is typical Celestialsapien, like doing the Celestialsapien stuff, but then accidentally due to gravity, magnetic fields, or gravity, he just accidentally flew away from the verge of creation and landed to some student house. And that student usually create himself, well, start a party in the college dorm, and well, people will hang out to do that stuff. And because he landed there, he technically appeared at every party that this guy Jake hosted. Maybe I will draw this Jake, but still not solid back. Now for him, because original species don't have much details, I created the species, the character who have like the most details, like he will be the most colorful, the most things he have inside of him. His clothes, first of all, will be typical Celestialsapien clothes, which is this metallic gladiator clothes. I would say it will be braces, this thing on his neck. I think he had more, but I think during the party years, some people stripped him of his clothes, leaving only those bracelets and this thing on his neck. And they give him a bunch of random clothes. I mean, imagine that you're a guy who doesn't move and appeared at the party with a bunch of drunk people. You totally will get messed with. And to be fair, I would say he had kind of a reputation like being the party king, like, because he kinda appeared at every party. Of course, people like question this, but they just lag it off and they say he's a cool dude. I mean, some people don't even notice that he's not even a student, like he just randomly sit there for no reason. That he just cool and doing everything the cool stuff kids do. But people just give him a random clothes. So I think for his clothes, which were given to him, it will be the pink ballet trends, which you can see right now. I guess I could make it a little bit bigger. Like I regret not making it bigger. The jeans! And then the shorts. Yes, he's wearing both jeans and shorts. Like some guy decided to put a jeans on him, and while he was putting jeans on him, there was another guy who decided to put him a shorts. A pretty chubby shorts. Man, I'm glad you like make it short. Also, you can notice I did the crotch a bit more different. Like usually I just go this line, then on the tip of the line will go other legs, and through a bit back from the line will go other lines. To create a nice leg effect. But also notice the way you can draw legs, which is also pretty awesome. Now for the body, again typical Celestialsapien, black and the stars, but I also decided to add those bunch of, like, okay, people like freaking like to mess with him, like they cover him with these ribbons, they confetti, put bunch of paints on him, and I think actually more graffiti paint and that stuff. One guy was trying to give him a tattoo, but because his skin was too tough, they didn't manage to do nothing. Also I give him a bunch of those words, well, some guy put a cap on one of his horns, the other guy put a little bit ribbon there, like, you know, those fluffy ribbons you used to tie your hair together, you just put that on him. Put bunch of beans, well, those beans jewelry on his neck. Put the glasses, those big, very translucent glasses, but because he have no ears, they just duct tape it on his elbow, and now he have cool glasses. And if you ask, does he hate it? No, he doesn't hate it. Well, actually, for his personality he will have three, which is first of all will be Vera, the voice of sadness and depression, who just said that he's not at home and that he been messed. Then will be, man, I have to know Okay, I have to see the name quickly. So right now I will not see my drawing, I will see the name. There's also Terrence, the voice of Joy Entertainment, who bloody like what's happening right now to him. And then there's Baron, the voice of Reason. Now Origin decided to give him a little more original personality than Ben's. Origin was thinking about giving exactly the same personality as Ben, just with different names. But then thinking, does Celestialsapien all have the same personality, or does they have different personality? I decided to go with different personality to be more original. And also they like the real name of this character. Like first one inside him there's 3 personality. The whole body doesn't have a name because I doubt that Celestialsapiens would have the name existed. So everyone referred to him as a dude who goes to every party of Drake. Now for colors I decided to go a bit low. Not super black, but the black where you can still see the lines. I think it's exactly the same as Omniverse, although I'd like to have to. No, I think in Omniverse he's like just full-time black, just to create the illusion of the arm, so the liners they used a bit different color of white grayish inside of his body, which I also used, you will see later. This one white on his body. Also I decided to give him a little more slender build of the body and a bit more longer, like the energy hybrid from the Cervantes episode, like the Turn to Cervantes. I did not give him exactly the same shape of head, because I like the shape of head. I actually like it. But I would also like being more original with heads to create, like some people can look at different member of the species. Because I think in Omniverse, no, not in the reboot, no, not what reboot, I want to say in Alien Force and Ultimate Alien they look the same. Or maybe they're supposed to look the same because I don't know, maybe that's how the species work. Yeah, totally, I see it how it will work. Now, for this stuff, I would say he didn't be not okay, because talking about this, he still be not active, but I would say he once become active, like he be not active for a very long time, and the time he become active, it was to destroy an alien dictator who was the idea of Vera. Like Vera said, it's so sad that this dictator killed so many people, while Terrence say, well, let's just destroy him and then we can enjoy the watching the entertainment of this species. And okay, what are the other names? Verons. Actually, man, Vera and Verons have pretty much the same names. It's only Terrence which is different. Which actually I would say is pretty nice fact I decided to give. Now right now I'm drawing him a smile, and it's a paint someone put on him. Like they decided to put emotion on his face with a paint. They also did a bunch of random stuff, like they put stickers, they draw these lines, and yes, they totally drawn his crotch. Well, not much it's a harassment because there's not much stuff there. Like there's nothing there, so not so much stuff. This is supposed to be like alien ranting right there. This stick, this V, that's supposed to be alien ranting, but it's look like a bunch of random stuff. Now, on his armpit there will be some piercing on him, on his arms there will be a stick of dinosaurs, and on his bracelet behind them there will be some fluff who some put in there. They didn't manage to take them off, but they decided to put fluff inside of them. I must say, man, he like covered a ton of stuff. Also, this is supposed to be some other alien symbol. On his crotch and his pelvis, it's supposed to be alien writing as well. Man, I bloody should draw him pelvis lines. It will look so. Well, actually, it kind of will look like Click from Borderlands. It's actually one of my favorite characters in Borderlands, so I'm not complaining here. Now drawing the stars, because stars are awesome. But I think maybe I should use a different color brush, although I'm fine with it or not. Also, I was trying to create some freckles for him, but then decided only on one cheek that will be some star freckles. Well, again, it's not much you can tell it's freckles, it's mostly just look at simple stars. Now here I'm drawing the photo creation, again, minimalistic version. Also, we draw the black lines, which is supposed to represent him, and like that he just accidentally formed. A bunch of these to show that he's been sleeping for a very long time, and it's the fact that he is not been active for a very long time. Now here I draw the glaciers, man, not much fact with him, like for characters I designed him story a bit more. I designed a little bit more story with him, but for fact not so much. I would say he also one of those characters with different orientation, but his orientation will be, I would say he actually maybe also asexual. Because I think all Celestialsapien could be something like this. Although they do reproduce, although maybe I reproduce by snapping the fingers and then the baby just appears from nowhere. And that's how they work. And now you will see, okay, the first one was Verence, the second one was Vera, and this is Terrence. So yeah, the guy with the eyebrows and beard is Vera, the woman is Vera, and the guy with big jaw is Terrence. And also his boat. Also they're thinking about designing him like handsome Squidward. For some reason I want him very much to look like handsome Squidward. Now I decided to draw this alien, And for this alien, you probably say it's Martian from Phineas of Fear, but actually it's and Beyond, Ink Tank, and Beyond, episode about Big Chill. The part this Big Chill predator getting hunted is this alien. Minimalistic, not much details, and that stuff. This alien only exists there to point the finger and say, is this guy even a student? With me saying no next to the text bubble. Right now you see the full drawing, and you can see all the text over there. The text bubble not supposed to be colored to its original intention, and for details, man, nothing much to say. I bloody like this design a lot, maybe because I already designed it, but not in a way I hate, but in a way I still enjoy it. Obviously, if I have to draw him again, I'll probably do a little bit less details. Yeah, I'll probably do less details. So, okay, for the next one we go. Because I already said everything I want to say. Man, it's not often I do that. But there's not much reason to continue this story. So the next species is Cerebrocrustacean, and the member of the species, Hank-o-ben-na-cool-den Rock, the third. But you can just call him Hank for short, like he actually liked it and called him by short name because he hates his full name. And he is a bounty hunter. Okay, so Hank is one of my favorite designs right now, but again he's not much complicated design. Now his original first full name is just a bunch of random nonsense I come up with, and accidentally just shortened to be a Hank. Now his design original was just starting to being close to brainstorm original design. But then I originally thought about making a Darth Vader version of the character. But then speaking, man, I don't think it's right to just mimic other characters from other media. So if I'm creating original aliens, I should create original aliens. Well, it's still, it does kind of look like Darth Vader, but again, because of the mouth and because of the eyes. Well, actually Darth Vader have circle normal eyes, but then like this. But then say no, decided to create a normal bounty hunter. I would say, well, his bounty hunter, he is not a big fan of using weapons, so usually he just uses his natural skills of electrokinesis and other stuff. Again, he's still smart. I would say he like any brains from species. And I would say he's still maybe able to make a very nice technology, but say he makes technology only for opponent requirements. Like I'd say if he was fighting Kryptonians, he would definitely create some Kryptonite blast or red sun grenade or a gun which can kill Kryptonians, like not even without Kryptons, it's just a gun which can kill Kryptonians. I would say he can make that kind of stuff. Or maybe devices which can nullify the damage of the species which can give, like let's say Sasquatch species generate electricity, he make armor which can neutralize electricity effect. Oh, wouldn't he be immune to electricity? He totally would be. Now originally because of his unique way of fighting, there was times that he lost the limbs. Like he lost one time leg and one time he lost arm. Like I would say it's like one of his recent damages. But the leg already regenerated, while his arm is still regenerates. But and Brisbane decided to give him this because I originally remember the video about the crab who didn't have no legs and no claws. And then the guy in the video said, don't worry, he will regenerate this. And I think it's maybe a real fact about the crab, but you know, I decided not to give a brainstorm species a random new pub which was never seen in the show, so I decided he will be regenerating by using a special chemicals in the arm, like it's full prosthetic arm, but there will be chemical vials in his shoulder which a chemical which helps the regeneration of his arm. And behind this prosthetic there's like little baby claws. I would say it's like the whole reason why the shoulder part of this prosthetic is so big and humongous. But the claw will be, I decided to create a really big claw. And because it was so big, I was thinking, well, if he needs to work on something delicate, how the hell he will do this? So I decided to give a second set of pins on the side of the claw, and it will be claws when he used to for delicate work. Now for for this part of the knee, or not knee, on the shoulder, I decided to make it similar to the tubing. Now for the bracelet, I decided to connect the arm and the bracelet. That will be his breathing bracelet, which will have water. Also, I was thinking a series of design which will filter water from atmosphere and then get into him. And I would say it's pretty strong device which can get new water from all form of atmosphere. Even in the desert, like there's not little much water, but the device can still somehow find. Now for his spikes, I started to give him little spike in the head, this little mustache and on the side of his eyes, and also little beard spikes. Now for his color, I started to go to darkish. Well, yeah, both pretty darkish. Now, while making this, it kinda gave me a vibe of those soft shell crabs. And I decided to go with this one, so I decided not to go with wild with colors. Although I would say maybe it's one of my scenes that with characters I usually prefer to use a bit darker colors. It's a fact that I think I stated a long time ago that I bloody used lots of dark colors, which I'm not sure. Well, okay, I don't know, depending. Like again, it's my choice to which color I want to use. But again, I also heard that such thing as good color palette. Like you have to mix your color pretty good. But I would say maybe I never read this book, so I don't know how it will work. Now with these vials on the shoulder, it's gonna give me a classic band vibe because I gave them bubble inside of that stuff. Because for breast I did the same bubbles, and for legs, well yeah, nothing much. I also decided to give him a really sharply, pretty much visible tails. Now for facts, I think I said everything I want. Right now I will draw the text. This one with the claw, which one he lost, the leg he lost, the vials, the bracelet, and then the arm. Well, the arm claw because I didn't draw the full arm from the beginning, so I decided to do this. And for technology level, I don't even remember what I give them. But let's say I decided to make them pretty low level technology because I don't know. It's an apparat for breathing, which originally I think will not be super high again. Like there's a hammer, which is level 1, then there's suit of energy, which is also not so high. Then there's translator, which is a bit more high, like it's already free. And invitation rate, okay, I would say the breathing breast is level. Oh man, actually no, let's see, not guess. Just have to draw a gun to say the fact that he doesn't use a weapon. Actually, it's pretty simple design of the gun, and I didn't actually intend not to go super wild. And for gun, okay, right now I'm holding this thing because I have decided to hold something in my arm. Sorry if it's distracting you, sorry for that. I will break it. I just broke it. It's something I don't use already, and I have no need for it. You probably didn't even tell what it was. Now for, okay, the level of the claw is level 3 because I think it's a more mechanical action. It does have provide electricity for his nature, his electricity for this arm. And plus it has dragon set of princess, which I would say pretty complex mechanism. Yeah, I would say it's the right way to say. So it's level 3. The bracelet will be level 2 because not much thing it does. Let's just get a word from the atmosphere, so I would say. Actually, maybe it's have right to be a little more higher, maybe I will rethink this. I mean, I'm not going to change any facts right now, but it will be a possibility that it could be, well, not the solid, okay, it's like solid 2, but weakness it can be maybe 4. Which I think is, okay, you know what, let's not think of it. I decided to give them, yeah, I think they like have no color, I think they have no pupils, like it's with Dr. Sarcobus, it's like one of the species effects. So yeah, I think that's the right eyes. Again, one of my favorite designs for some reason. But you know, let's see the other characters who will be the last in this batch, and whose design very simple and not even my favorite one. So let's go. So meet the Chimera Sui Generis, or wait, isn't the Cameru? I still get the wrong names. Wait, I have to, okay, I think actually I get this from the wiki. Like I just copy pasted the name from the wiki. Is that Chimera Sui Generis? I thought it was a bit different. Okay, no, it's just my note. It's ShingCui. Oh, ShingCui. Okay, you know, they just Google Japanese name with meaning, and there was something. The chi part is supposed to mean the long-standing, while the first part of his name is. What was it mean? Like brave habit. Okay, I was going with something for fight, something like this, but trying with this and find it to be bad. Now for the design, I guess it's have a mix. Okay, I think it's mostly the Alien Force version of this, where they are just simple copy-pasted characters. But also decided to give a little bit elements of the classic series with veins, like on his neck and on his leg there will be veins. But for arms it will be a bunch of tentacles and that stuff, which is kinda both Alien Force and Reboot. Like I like the fact that in Reboot his arms is just a bunch of tentacles and they just form the arms. I think it's super cool to be fair. I think in Alien Force is just simple arms which is have this tentacle text, which is not much. Now for him, body I decided, first of all, for the face, typical what I said earlier, but I decided to give him missing tentacles and a burn on his face. Like because I see him as a soldier who used to work for Vilgax. And they not much of the, like, he totally disagree with Vilga's point of view, because first of all, Vilgax is like a conqueror. Well, this guy also a warrior, but he's more warrior who will fight to protect, like he doesn't fight for no reason. He only fight to save his planet or save the innocent people, like he like super brave. but because the Vilgit is kind of the leader of this planet, he kind of have to work for this guy. Not much he can do. Of course, right now he's retired, because again he's pretty oldish and already did what he did. And plus he have these damages which make his right arm a bit more work. Like he missing tentacles on his face and on his arms, else he have burns right there. Now the way he get those burns and miss those tentacles is because of the explosion of some bomb. I cannot say what kind of bomb it is, but it's strong enough to break a tentacles of this guy. Now for closer start, okay, originally was thinking about giving him the armor, but then decided to give him something like Zen armor, because I would say he kind of peaceful and mind imitating guy. So it will blow top these elements of, I don't know, this and this and them, and the pants, and also the karate shoe, and also these gloves, metallic gloves which Gags from Reboot have. Like, I really like this idea. Now for colors, I think it will be in blue, because I think it's like Chimera, kind of Chimera colors. Also decided to give him this line on his head, but it's really freaking become Avatar Anchor here. I don't know, originally I think I was explaining it by it will be something like a hood, like he wearing clothes, and behind this clothes is going this hood, which go in form of line, like it's what kind of hoods they have in the planet, so it's gonna be this explanation there. But I don't think it's not much explanation for me. I decided to just give him a red and blue color there. Actually, man, with this body, and I miss lots of these details. Like I think in classic series, okay, like he totally looked like a guy who could be in Alien Force. But if he was in classic series, I think he would have more a bit margin on his body. Like tentacles would have colors, the head and that stuff. In Omniverse, man, something like Vilgus from Omniverse, man. He even have different tentacles in his face, like there's typical tentacles and there's tentacles which look like something that Squid or Kraken would have. Oh man, I didn't have much ideas for Chimera rule, also just the idea what I want to do. And I start thinking, man, okay, like first of all, when I start drawing characters I just go blindly and then see what happens, like come up with ideas on the spot. And sometimes I come up with ideas right now. Okay, when I finish the drawing I usually don't have much ideas. But right now, it's the case when I have ideas, which I regret not to put inside. Okay, maybe I will redraw it one time. Again, I'm not sure, will I redraw any of my past drawing, because right now I'm pretty happy. I'm not guy for redraw stuff. But you know, what's now in the future? Maybe in the future one time I decide to redraw some stuff. Now also for the missing tentacles is to create something like a bone effect. Which I'm not sure he would actually have, because I'm not sure what they have meat inside. They have bones inside them, are just pure meat. Actually, given to the theory, it's just pure meat inside of the tentacles. So maybe this little bone text is not necessary. Also for the character's facts, man, again, it was one of those characters which not much facts. Like mostly he retired from the job and being started garden. Also I decided to give him orientation of being homosexual, so he's gay. And actually it will be the first gay character I ever draw. Well, he will not be the first gay character I ever come up with. When it's come to drawing, he is not the first. Well, yeah. It's the first gay character on my screen, my version of drawing and that stuff. And if you ask me, does he feel Vilgax is cute? Totally not, like freaking sociopath and that stuff, like he's totally not cute. And honestly, okay, I originally was thinking about given this fact that he does not think that Vilgax is cute, but I thought it was not much necessary because I don't know, it's kinda one of those, yeah, I don't know, it's like if I edit it, it would feel like one of those tropes when the character is attracted to the same gender, and it's like he finds this character attractive or not. Like, okay, let's say I edit a character, like say this character is different orientation, like there's a character who worked with a villain. Let's say this character is a different orientation, then like I say, he does find him attractive. I just think it's like not necessary to consume, like there's a character who like freaking messed up and it's been shown in the show that he's not happy to deal with this character. And then you ask me, does he find him attractive? I think it's not true. Yeah, I don't know, I think right now that I'm talking about this, it sounds pretty stupid. Like, the reason why I didn't feel this fact, because, like, I think that was the reason why I didn't have this trope there, because I thought it's kinda, yeah, I don't know. I think once I read it, like, there was gay people who were asked a question, and there was one of those questions, do you find me attractive? Like, the straight guys ask the gay friend, do you find me attractive? I can get, and the gay people say, kinda weird, because I don't know. And I have to somehow express this thought better. Today, just seen as a guy who, while you're into guys, like your friends start asking, have you ever been into them? And like it's get pretty awkward and it's a conversation you never want to have. I kinda have the same feeling by edge of this fact that he doesn't find Vilgax attractive, because first of all, who would find Vilgax attractive? Actually, I think in one pop-up media, I don't know, I think I saw one fact about Vilgax having a son. Oh yeah, in the comics Vilgax have a son. So maybe there's like someone who finds him attractive, but honestly, I think he's pretty... Okay, what he's pretty? I don't know, maybe just me because I'm a human, I don't know. But did they decide just say he's gay and not much of the gay fact I added to him. Plus he's not stereotypical, like again, he's warrior. He like doesn't access all that stuff, so he's normal real life gay. Okay, you know what, I kinda feel saying gay a lot. Okay, I don't know, maybe because it's my first gay character I ever made. Official on the paper, well not the paper, on the computer, so maybe I kinda trying to say something about it because it's the first one. Although I didn't say nothing about making the first bi/asexual characters. Yeah, I didn't say much. Okay, you know what, maybe I'm just trying to get myself a pass, but you know what, let's just forget it and let's edit this video because it's a lot character on this batch. Now, again, as I said earlier, my favorite characters will be Alien X, the second will be Brainstorm, I would say, what else? Who else I like? Well, actually, Arburian Pelarota, the Atrocian, then Biot-savartian and... Okay, Steamer, okay, actually, should I change it? I don't know. But actually, I would say maybe we have by 7th and Sugar. Oh man, I can't remember these names. Like, Vilgax have such hard name to pronounce. Chimera Sui. Okay. Okay, you know what? Actually, I think Biot-savartian and Chimera Sui be in the same place because again, with these characters, I think I didn't do much, and I didn't do much in that way that I don't find it very one of my best work. Although they have pretty nice liners and pretty nice, they actually have this better than Arburian Pelarota. But I like the clothes I give him, and I like the idea of the cave. This one, man, they kind of look like, man, generic species of the species. Although they're all supposed to be, I doubt there will be any serious case of this alien being super awesome and doing super dead stuff. I don't know, I just see them pretty palish, like I wish I could add a little bit more details. Although, man, I'd give this transformation, which we saw earlier. Okay, I'm bloody already the name right now. Chimera Sui Generis. I give him lots of those details, so the burns or the hands, but I think it did nothing from my perspective. But let's say he still is pretty palish or that stuff. Also, I give him a bunch of random belts. Like, I don't say, I just decided to give him a belt. It's not much a belt, it's more clothes tying together. But still, I think it's not much necessary. Man, I wish I had a bit more ideas. Like, originally I was also thinking about giving him these pouches with stuff inside of them. But I think I did give it an idea because, again, I don't know, I think about not overkilling it because, I don't know, I do have a tendency to overkill sometimes. And, like, I did details which are not supposed to be there. Like, there's not much reason for him to carry the belts. I mean, the Arachne Chimp have the reason because she's a garden who's working right now. He is just relaxing and meditating, or maybe it does work on his garden, but again, not so much. Also, you get him a little bit vein effect on his neck, on his legs, like what in a classic series they have, like Maya's, Vilgax, I didn't have these things instead of the tentacles arms. But I would say I still like tentacles a little bit more. Yeah, man, I think I did give much details, and I kinda regret it as rather to be fair. And I don't even have any ideas what else details I can give him. Like, okay, you can actually recommend me what else I can give this character, like, because I think I didn't work much with them. Oh, Biot-savartian, again, I gave up with her because I think I did everything that came to my mind. This one, I think there's a little bit more could end it. Maybe a blast in his pocket, maybe a staff, or maybe, I don't know, maybe more colors to his... Oh man, actually I'm totally missing colors to his body, like, I don't know, like, maybe little spots would not kill him. Also, I did grow a build this, I didn't comment on this earlier. Also, this alien plant I grow for the garden. You know what, I think on this note, it was CheapGP. Like, share, subscribe, comment what was your favorite. Comment what add to my... What else I should add to my Chimera Sui Generis. And on this note, go to my social media, go to all of my 2 channels, and on this note, go to my Patreon to watch my drawings earlier. Yeah, And on this note, man, so many this notes are said. Until you get to this point, have a nice day, and on this note, download the end screen. I'm still playing with this thing. What even it's supposed to be? I have no idea, but I broke. Okay, end the screen. Let's go.